Everybody says OpenClaw is the autonomous agent that just runs your workflows while you sleep. I spent 5 charges trying to prove them wrong. OpenClaw claims to be a true agent orchestration kernel, not just another chat wrapper. The binary question: does it actually deliver, or is the hype still running ahead of the product? One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Charge 1. OpenClaw runs complex jobs overnight without you touching it. Every AI tool says it runs autonomously until your workflow stalls at 2 a.m., nobody escalates, and you wake up to nothing done with a deadline 4 hours out. So the real question is whether the architecture actually backs up that promise. I looked at what built-in, DigitalOcean, and independent technical blogs actually document, and OpenClaw is architected as a persistent background agent with heartbeat polling and cron jobs built in, not a one-shot chatbot you have to babysit. The proactive escalation design, where it only pulls you in when a human decision is genuinely needed, is confirmed across multiple independent sources. The one caveat: specific use cases, like video editing from mobile, are directionally supported by the architecture, but lack direct published proof. This charge is dismissed. The 24/7 autonomous operation claim holds up, backed by consistent independent evidence that the design is genuinely built for it, not bolted on. That's one of 1 charges dismissed so far, and OpenClaw is earning it on architecture, not marketing copy. I've burned enough late nights chasing agent failures to know the difference between a real kernel and a chatbot in a trench coat. Drop a comment if the overnight job promise has ever let you down. Charge 2. Version 7.1 finally resolved the instability. With self-hosted tools, when an upgrade crashes on boot, you're not just annoyed, you're pulling your whole production workflow offline while you debug node version mismatches at midnight. So I went straight to the 2026.7.1 release notes to see if the claim holds. The part that got me: the official 2026.7.1 release notes themselves document a boot crash migration bug for a subset of installs, and they flag a narrow node version requirement that breaks older setups. There's one community post on the vendor forum calling this the best experience yet. But that's a single anecdote stacked against a documented crash, and the documented crash wins that argument. This charge sticks. The resolved instability claim is premature when the release notes contradict it in writing, which is about as clear a signal as you can get. One of 2 charges now holding up, and this one landed harder than I expected. Charge 3. OpenClaw is a true orchestration kernel, not a chat UI wrapper. Every agent tool calls itself infrastructure now, so I get why you'd roll your eyes. But if it actually is just a wrapper, you're locked into someone else's routing logic. You can't swap models, and your whole stack is fragile the moment the vendor changes something upstream. I looked at Axiom Partners, Fed Resources, and the vendor docs, and the language is consistent across all of them. Sessions, memory, tool sandboxing, multi-agent routing, browser and terminal access. Multiple independent technical analyses use operating system for AI agents language, not chatbot. And the vendor docs confirm infrastructure level features, which makes this the most strongly supported claim in the whole review. Charge dismissed, and it's not even close. OpenClaw is genuinely an infrastructure layer, confirmed by sources that have no reason to flatter the vendor. That puts us at 2 of 3 charges dismissed, and this one is the strongest signal in the whole dataset. So the kernel claim is solid, but the 2 charges still ahead are the ones that actually decide whether a non-programmer can get productive fast and whether the hype cycle already killed the community. Both of those could flip your read on whether OpenClaw is worth the setup costs right now, so let's run them. Charge 4. OpenClaw lets non-programmers deploy across WhatsApp, Discord, and 19+ channels, and build real automation within weeks. The failure mode here costs you real time. You commit to this platform, spend a weekend onboarding your non-technical teammates, and then realize the 100+ pre-configured skills still require enough config knowledge that your team is stuck waiting on the one developer who actually gets it. Watch what happens when you split the claim in two. The multi-channel part is fully verified, 19+ supported channels including WhatsApp and Discord, all documented. But the non-programmers building automation within weeks part, I couldn't find a single published data point on time to proficiency for non-technical users, and the 100+ pre-configured skills lower the barrier without actually removing it. The channel support charge is dismissed because 19+ platforms is genuinely unmatched and fully documented. But the non-programmer accessibility part is directional at best, not proven. 3 of 4 charges dismissed overall, with the within weeks timeline still a stretch without real evidence. Charge 5, the hype cooled, but serious power user adoption is actually growing. You've probably seen the OpenClaw is dead headlines, and if those are true and the community is evaporating, you're building on a platform that ships weekly releases nobody is testing, and the bugs that bite you in 6 months will have no forum thread with a fix. Independent analysis documents the consumer-grade frenzy has cooled, but the repo crossed 375,000 GitHub stars and ships stable releases almost every week, which is not the behavior of a dead project. The conversation has shifted from "look what it can do" to "can I trust it in production?" And that shift is actually a sign of a maturing tool, not a dying one. Charge dismissed. The power user adoption story is real and documented, with 375,000+ stars and a clear pivot toward production reliability, proving the project is very much alive. That's 4 of 5 charges dismissed, and OpenClaw earns that tally on the strength of its community data. OpenClaw genuinely wins on architecture. It's a real orchestration kernel with sessions, memory, and tool sandboxing, confirmed by independent technical analysis. The 19+ channel support through a single gateway is unmatched. It's built for 24/7 background operation, not babysitting. And with 375,000+ GitHub stars and weekly releases, the power user community is real and growing. OpenClaw falls short in 3 concrete ways. The 7.1 stability claim is contradicted by its own release notes, which document a boot crash migration bug. The non-programmers building automation within weeks promise has 0 published evidence behind it. And the specific claim of running complex tasks like video editing from mobile is plausible architecturally, but has no direct proof. 4 of 5 charges dismissed. If you're a developer or automation tinkerer who can handle rough edges and a real setup curve, OpenClaw is worth your time right now. If you're a non-technical user expecting plug and play, the one charge that stuck, that boot crash stability issue, is the one that will cost you the most. One thing the marketing doesn't mention: OpenClaw's multi-agent routing requires a specific node version range, and if your existing stack pins a different version, you're not just hitting a warning, you're hitting the same boot crash gateway that took down a subset of 7.1 upgrades. Check your node version before you commit to the install. If you're trying to figure out which AI model to actually pair with an orchestration layer like this, I just dropped a full breakdown on Claude Opus 4.8, asking whether it's still worth using in 2026. The answer is more nuanced than the benchmarks suggest, and it connects directly to the model pairing question OpenClaw's own docs don't answer.